Okay, so here's a video that I wanted to do today about a guy named Jeffery Mead. He's a receiver for OU, and there's a lot of talk this year about how is OU's receiving core going to be after losing D.D. Westbrook. Is the cupboard bare? And I don't think it is. Um, After Sterling Shepard graduated, we didn't think that D.D. Westbrook would have the kind of year he had. Now, I don't think there's going to be a guy uh, on OU's team that is going to have a year like D.D. Westbrook, but I think Jeffery Mead is a guy that could emerge as a number one option, definitely a solid number two. Now, he only had 10 catches all of last year, but he really came on late in the year, um, and he's great. And I just wanted to point out a couple things that make him, I think, a great option for Baker Mayfield. So, the first thing is he's got really good body control. He knows what to do um, in order to catch the ball away from defenders. So here's this play against Iowa State that I want to watch. And let's look at it in real time. Mead's going to be at the top of the screen. Great. So here we see him. He's being challenged right at the line of scrimmage. And he gets a good first step. And he's able to get by that defender pretty easily. He gets all the way around him. And then when the ball's thrown to him, he perfectly uses his body to shield the ball from the defender so that the defender can't get to the ball. And he uses his hands, doesn't let it come into his chest to catch it, only to cradle it as he goes to the ground. So here's a good play. Another one that I want to look at is in the Sugar Bowl. It's a similar play to that one. He's at the bottom of the screen. Let's do that again. So there you have a similar deal. He's challenged at the line of scrimmage. He gets a great first step. Bam. See that? Immediately the defender's off balance. And he gets inside. He's looking for the ball, and the ball is perfectly thrown by Baker Mayfield. It's a great pass. This is either going to be an incomplete pass that nobody catches or that Jeffery Mead catches. And he's able to use his long frame and bring it in. And he's a big guy. He's 6'5". He's a huge receiver. Another great thing about how he uses his body is he knows how to use his length. Okay, so and here's one more example of how he can use his body to shield the ball. Oh, he's at the top of the screen. He's going to do an inside move and then an outside move. Yeah. And he uses some moves there. Obviously, he's not D.D. Westbrook in the open field. It's hard to be when you're as big as he is. But here, he catches the ball, turns outside. The defender has no way to get to that ball. And he shakes him off and goes in with a couple spin moves for the touchdown. Great. So, what does this play? All right. Okay. Another thing about Jeffery Mead is that he must have glue on his hands. I think the guy's made of stickum because he catches everything within the zip code. He's at the top of the screen here. Great. So there. This is the double move play. That Iowa State move play was not the double move play. This is. He goes in, outside, and this is not a good pass by Baker. He has to stop, completely turn himself around to catch that pass. And so, even though he's huge, he's 6'5", 2 whatever, he can still use his body to snatch that ball. Here's the replay from the broadcast. And he really just catches it with one hand. You see that, he barely he barely used his right hand at all. He basically caught that ball with his left hand. So basically did a 360 in the air to catch that pass and bring it down. So the guy has got reliable hands. So here's another one. He starts out at the very bottom of the screen. Yeah, so from that angle, it's a little hard to see. He's not challenged at the line here, obviously, but he cuts across, and he beats the guy. He comes right across his face, and he beats him, but because he's getting to the sideline, he has to slow down a little bit, gives the DB some time to catch up, and so by the time that Baker throws it, he's right there. He's on him, and he actually has better position than Mead does, but because Mead is so long, he's able to get up there with one hand and bring it in. So here's a better angle. Yeah. So here, at this point, it looks like it's going to be an interception, but it's thrown just out of reach of the DB, who I don't know how tall he is. He's probably what 5'11" or something. But Jeffery Mead can get up there, and he gets that ball with one hand and brings it in. There it is again. Great. So another thing is that I think he could be a consistent red zone threat because of his good first step. All right, so here in this play against West Virginia, he's at the bottom of the screen. Yeah. So that was a pretty simple play. He didn't do anything too special there. Just gave him a little shake move right there to run the slant. And this was also set up by the play call because the defensive back is looking in the backfield at Baker Mayfield and Joe Mixon doing the read option, and so he just loses Mead altogether, and he's wide open for the touchdown. So here's another angle. Yeah, and so this is the last play against Oklahoma State. This is a deep pass play, and Jeffery Mead, he's at the bottom of the screen now, and Oklahoma State is running a cover 3 zone here, and they just lose him as he cuts across. So you can see how athletic he is. You can see that he's got hands. He's got most of the tools. He doesn't have everything that D.D. Westbrook had or Sterling Shepard. He doesn't have the open field moves. I don't think he has the crisp route running that those guys have. But he's got the hands. He's got the fundamentals to be a really successful receiver this year. So here's that play again, and here you see he runs his route, and it's really rounded off. It's not sharp at all. He just really rounds it off, and I don't know. I've never been a receiver. Maybe that's okay when you run routes like this against zone. I don't know, but I would think you'd want it to be sharp. But as you see, he's gonna come across, and this safety who's covering the middle of the field doesn't realize that he's come into his zone, and just leaves him absolutely wide open. And so I don't think he's going to be Dede or Sterling, but I do think he's going to be a solid option. Maybe he can get even 1,000 yards this year. I don't think he'll get there. Maybe 700, 800 yards. So I think he's going to be a guy that OU is really going to use in a big way. They've got other receivers coming in. They've got a couple hotshot freshmen that are coming in, a graduate transfer from Kentucky, and I think there will be a lot of competition at wide receiver. But I think this is going to be a great guy to complement Mark Andrews and whoever else steps up for OU.